Rex Harrison stars in another intriguing adventure transcribed from the private files of Rex Saunders.
Concerning antiques. A prized and rare item is often worth its weight in gold, and also sometimes worth more than its weight in murder.
And now, the private files of Rex Saunders. RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music and first in television, brings you the celebrated star of stage and screen, Rex Harrison, in another exciting story taken from the private files of Rex Saunders, radio's newest man of mystery. We hope you enjoy these weekly stories of intrigue and adventure, and for another adventure in home entertainment, we suggest you try RCA Victor's fine line of radio and television products, now on display at your RCA Victor dealer. Now for our story.
This story begins in a surprising way. I'd left the house and walked across the street where my new Nash was parked. The surprise I mentioned was a blonde package done up attractively in a mink stole. I opened the car door, and there she was in the front seat.
Hello.
As I said, the car was new, and I looked twice to make sure it was mine.
It's your car.
So it is. I don't recall the dealer telling me that you came with it.
I've been waiting for you.
You should have sent a message. I'd have come down sooner.
You're Rex Saunders, aren't you? You help people in trouble.
No, don't tell me you're in trouble.
I am. Will you help me?
It's possible. I don't believe I got your name.
Virginia. Virginia Morris.
Miss?
Miss.
Yes, then it's quite possible.
My friends call me Jenny. Rex.
Then as one friend to another, Jenny. Just what sort of trouble is it?
It's about the cat.
The cat?
This one. This Ming porcelain figurine. I was afraid to go there alone. That's why I came to you. I didn't want him to see me go into your house. He warned me not to tell anyone. That's why I waited for you in the car. You will help me, won't you?
Well, first you'll have to make some sense. What's all this about?
Well, Ralph brought this cat back from Hong Kong 6 weeks ago.
Ralph?
My brother. He was there on business. Ralph said the cat was very valuable, and he asked me to hold it for him. That was 6 weeks ago. The next day, Ralph left the house, and I didn't hear from him until this evening.
And your brother told you not to tell anyone about it?
Oh, no, it wasn't Ralph who said that. It was the other man.
What other man?
The one who spoke to me over the phone after Ralph. Ralph just said a few words, and then the man must have taken the phone away from him. He told me to bring the cat to him at 22 River Street. He'd be in the doorway. I was to be there at 9:30. I was afraid to go there alone, so
Sorry, I was detained, Rex. A phone call.
Oh, Alec, this is Miss Morris.
Where did she come from?
Believe it or not, she was waiting here in the car for me.
A likely story.
Ginny has asked my assistance.
Oh, it's Ginny.
Mr. Saunders, we better hurry. He said to be there by 9:30 sharp.
Yes, come on, Alec, get in. You say the number was 22 River Street?
That's right.
River Street. Why are we going to that neighborhood?
Miss Morris's brother seems to be in some sort of trouble.
It's a matter of life and death.
Life and death. That's the usual story, isn't it?
This isn't a joke. I didn't finish what I started to tell you, Mr. Saunders. The man said to me that Ralph would be killed if the Ming cat wasn't delivered tonight.
Ming cat. That's it. That's just what he said, the Ming cat.
What are you talking about?
The phone call which detained me. It was a man. He said to forget about the Ming cat. It's evil, he said. To those who touch it, it brings only bad luck and death.
I headed downtown, cutting through the side streets to avoid heavy traffic. Ginny Morris sat between us, her hands nervously clutching the mysterious little porcelain figure. It was almost 9:30 when we turned into the waterfront section. A heavy gauze of fog was beginning to wind itself around the docks. We pulled up at the foot of River Street.
This area is forbidding enough without having a pea soup fog to make matters worse.
Ginny, I'll take the china cat now.
Oh, but you said that as long as the cat was in our hands, you thought that Ralph's life would be spared.
I'm reasonably sure it will. Don't worry, I'm not letting you go of it until your brother's brought back safe and sound. Now, you better let me have it.
All right.
Come on, Alec.
Rex,
Yeah?
you be careful.
I'll be careful. Number 22 is the next building. You ready?
Ready, but reluctant.
I'll do the talking.
That dubious pleasure is all yours. Well, no one's here. The entrance is boarded up.
Down, Alec. Alec.
I'm all right.
Those shots came from across the street. Someone was lying in wait for us over there.
Oh, we're certainly lucky.
They certainly are. This Ming cat didn't break when I dropped down. Maybe it isn't such bad luck after all.
Forget that confounded cat. Look what it got us into.
Now let's see if it can get us out of it.
What do you mean?
We're getting back to Ginny and the car as quickly as we can.
With an armed killer across the street?
I told you before to count the fog a blessing. Follow me and stay close to the buildings.
Okay.
Well, we made it.
The cat's brought us luck so far.
I hope it'll do as well for Ginny Morris.
Huh?
Well, see for yourself. She's not in the car. Alec and I headed back uptown. As things turned out, Ginny was as mysterious as the Ming cat. She told me that she was staying at the Hotel Maxton, but when we stopped at the Maxton, the desk clerk had a completely different story. There was no one by that name registered at the hotel. On the credit side, however, I possessed a rare article of ancient china worth hundreds, if not thousands. A valuable piece of bait. So I decided to drop my line at home and wait for a bite.
Do you really think this Ming cat will get us the truth?
I think it'll attract the fish we want. Now, let's go up to our apartment and wait for a nibble.
Stay right where you are.
Oh,
I'll use this gun if either one of you tries anything.
You see, Alec, what did I tell you? A bite and we haven't even cast our line.
Give it to me.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
I saw her with you in this car here before. She gave you the cat. The one in his lap.
clumsy of me.
Hand it over.
I'm terribly sorry, Rex. I was sure I had it hidden from view.
Never mind, Alec. The damage is done. This young woman and her automatic appear to mean business. You better hand it over.
Here you are.
Now, don't move. Stay right where you... Where'd you get this cat?
You answered that question yourself a moment ago.
What did you do with the other one?
The other one?
You know what I'm talking about. Where's the other one?
Well, isn't this one satisfactory?
You can't fool me. I know all about it. I'll show you how much I know about it.
Rex, she deliberately destroyed that relic.
Stop acting. You know as well as I it was a fake. You know it wasn't worth $2.
Evidently, Alec, our bait wasn't as valuable as we thought, but it served the
You
purpose.
tell me where the real one is. You tell me or I'll kill the both of you.
That'll be rather difficult considering the fact that you neglected to release the safety catch on that gun you're holding.
What?
Here. I'll show you what I mean.
Let go. Let...
Don't you know it isn't stylish for an attractive young woman to sport these things? Yeah. You look much better without it. Here, Alec, take it.
With pleasure.
You hurt me.
I didn't mean to.
You wouldn't have been harmed. It wasn't possible. That gun is empty.
Well, go on with your story, Mrs. Haynes.
I thought you were in with them. I was desperate. I had to do something to find my husband, Frank.
Another mysteriously missing male.
Frank was to meet me when my boat docked. I was bringing the Ming cat back from the Orient. Frank had a buyer for it here.
Yes, you went through that before. That blonde girl who called herself Ginny Morris met you at the dock. She was supposedly taking you to your husband. Instead, you said you were taken to an hotel room where you were drugged.
Yes, and when I woke up, the Ming cat was gone. I couldn't find Frank, and then this evening I received a phone call.
The man told me to wait in front of this apartment house tonight, and I'd find both my husband and the Ming cat.
It's usually customary to report such things to the police.
I told you I did report my husband's disappearance.
So you said. Oh, excuse me a moment. Hello? Oh, yes, Inspector. I see. Where? Yes. Well, thank you very much, Inspector. Goodbye.
Well?
Well, evidently, Alec, Mrs. Haynes here was telling us the truth. She did report her husband's disappearance to the police. Inspector Kelly tells me they've found him.
Frank, they found him? Where is he?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Haynes.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
A man identified as Frank Haynes jumped from an 8-story window of a downtown office building at 6 o'clock this evening.
You can take it with you. Just slip your fingers through the Victrola 45 personal phonograph's convenient carrying handle and take it with you anywhere. The remarkable Victrola 45 personal phonograph will always be a welcome guest at a party or in the evening when you drop around to see your friends. You can also keep it at home in your living room for you and your family to enjoy your favorite records again and again. Or move it from room to room anywhere in the house. That way, you'll have just the music you want when you want it. Yes, RCA Victor's new Victrola 45 personal phonograph is versatile and practical, and it's economical, too. You can buy it for a song. This superb instrument expressly designed for the 7-inch, non-breakable 45 RPM records. And you'll have a lot more fun all the time with RCA Victor's new Victrola 45 personal phonograph.
Frank Haynes was dead. We supplied the police with a description of the blonde young lady who called herself Ginny Morris. And then Alec and I accompanied Mrs. Haynes to the morgue.
Must I?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Haynes, but identification of your husband's body is necessary. Just look, and then you can leave.
All right. Mr. Saunders.
What is it?
This body, it's not Frank. This is not my husband.
The Ming cat produced another surprise. The corpse at the morgue wasn't Frank Haynes. But why did this unidentified man carrying Frank Haynes' personal belongings jump from an office building window? Perhaps I could find the answer at the scene of the supposed suicide. Alec and I went to the 8th floor of the office building.
Rex, this gets more perplexing at every turn.
On the contrary, Alec, it's just beginning to make sense.
I wish you'd explain how.
Well, it's quite obvious why Ginny Morris, or whatever her name is, really put the fake Ming cat in our hands.
Oh, it is?
Quite. She and her cohort wanted Mrs. Haynes to think we were involved with them. If Mrs. Haynes was busy following us, that would steer her off their trail.
But what about those shots that were fired at him?
I'm convinced that part of the act was to make us think that we had a precious art object in our possession.
All right, that could explain that much of it. But what about the suicide?
I don't think it was a suicide.
How do you know?
Well, it stands to reason. The death of the unidentified man was another part of another act. Someone wanted Mrs. Haynes to believe that her husband was dead. They thought that a fall from an 8th-story window would smash the body beyond recognition. They missed their guess on that point. Now, right here, this window is supposed to be where he jumped from.
But the elevator man told us that the man came up to this floor alone last night.
He came up alone, but I don't believe he was alone when he stood at this window. I'm inclined to think that he was pushed out by whoever stood here with him.
How are you going to prove that?
We're going to cover every floor of this building. There are 5 stories above and 7 below. Now, you work from here down, and I'll work up.
What do I look for?
I want to know the nature of every business in this building. It may be just waste of time, but it's worth a try. I mounted the dim-lit stairs as Alec went down to check the floors below. Nothing of unusual interest on the 9th, or the 10th, or the 11th. And then, as I walked along the 12th floor corridor, I suddenly stopped. I stood before the door where the black letters on the dusty glass panel spelt out, J.R. Andrews, importer of Oriental antiques.
Good afternoon, sir. What is your pleasure?
Well, I've taken a recent and intense interest in Ming porcelain. I'm particularly interested, Mr. Is it Mr. Andrews?
Yes, I'm Mr. Andrews.
Well, I'm particularly interested, Mr. Andrews, in one Ming piece.
One, sir? What is that, may I ask?
Well, it's the figure of a cat. A cat with a rather enigmatic grin on its face.
Your taste is superb.
Oh, thank you very much.
You select the perfect jewel among jewels. The Ming cat.
You have one in stock?
In stock, sir? Oh, one does not stock the Ming cat.
Oh, forgive me, Mr. Andrews. I seem to approach the problem like the crass amateur that I am.
I'm sure I can obtain the object for you. You have been told the price.
The price is agreeable.
The warm pleasure of understanding minds. This way, please. Virginia, my dear, our buyer has arrived earlier than expected.
Well, hello.
Oh, you fool, you stupid fool.
Virginia, what's wrong?
This isn't the buyer.
What?
This is Saunders.
Oh, no, I don't believe it. He was such a gentleman.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. Miss Morris is quite correct. Ginny, I've been looking forward to our meeting again.
The world is filled with deception. Each day more of my faith in mankind is washed away.
Oh, shut up. You got us into this fine spot.
I rather enjoy it.
How long can it last?
I spoke too soon.
That's a 45 you feel in your back, mister.
I thought the sensation was unpleasantly familiar.
Sid, my boy, you're an angel of salvation.
Sure, Pop, sure. I come to hear this guy say his prayers. Snooping boy, pull off.
Don't you know it's considered dangerous to park on such a steep hill?
Sure, for you. You know what's going to happen to you?
I have a fairly good idea.
Yeah? Suppose you tell me.
Well, that bottle of liquor you have there on the seat next to you is the giveaway.
You get the gold star. Go ahead.
And after you douse me with that whiskey, you render me unconscious. And then you release the emergency brake, and I go rolling down this hill to my doom. Death accidental. Drunken driving.
You graduate. Here's where you get a little wet.
Frankly, I prefer it with the soda.
Now you smell good. Real good. Here's where you get lost. So long, snooping boy. Have a nice trip. Rex, no idea how shocked I was when they called me to come down here to pick you up at the hospital.
No more shocked, Alec, I'm sure, than I was when I awoke and found myself alive in that wrecked car.
Sometimes I feel that you have more lives than a cat.
A Ming cat.
Oh, please don't mention that. It's got you into enough trouble already.
Nothing compared to Ginny Morris and Mr. Andrews.
You found Ginny Morris?
Only fleetingly. The police made a more permanent find. Ginny and Mr. Andrews were located by the police in Andrews' office in the Packer building. They were both shot to death.
Shot to death? I don't understand. Who is Mr. Andrews and what was Ginny Morris doing in his office?
I'll explain that later. Just now we're going to part.
Part? What do you mean?
You're dropping off into the men's shop just ahead.
Huh?
You'll only stay in there until he passes.
He? What the deuce is this about?
There's a man who's been following us since we left the hospital.
Someone's following us?
Yes, don't turn round.
Oh.
I don't want to scare him off. I'll meet him in my own fashion. Now, there's the men's shop just ahead. Keep your eye on me, but stay at a distance. Got that?
Uh-huh.
All right, turn into the shop now.
Good luck.
I continued walking. The man in the dark suit followed. I quickened my pace. He quickened his. I slowed. He slowed. Then I came to the corner. I turned the corner quickly and stood up close to the building. I stood there, my back pressed against the stone wall, and waited.
Let go!
I beg your pardon. Take care, Tommy.
Let go! Hey, what's the idea?
I was about to ask you the same question.
Look, mister, I ain't looking for no rough stuff.
That's odd. You see, I'm just in the mood for it. You were following me. Why?
Well, sure I was, Taylor. You're Saunders, ain't you?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, this friend of mine wants to talk to you, so he sends me out to Eagle Eye you. This friend says I should bring you with me, but first he says I should make positive you're alone. So now you come with me, okay?
Just as simple as that, eh?
Sure. My friend says you'll come quick as a bunny.
What made him think so?
On account of my friend says you're out bloodhounding for him. My friend, whose name is Frank Haynes.
Back to the climax of our story in a moment. The more you demand, the higher your standards, the sooner you'll buy an RCA Victor radio. Because for performance, tone, fidelity, and economy, you'll agree there's nothing to compare with radios made by RCA Victor. The moment you listen to the Golden Throat tone system in an RCA Victor radio or radio phonograph combination, you'll recognize in a flash the beauty of concert hall clarity and unblemished overtones. And there's a model in every price range, an RCA Victor radio to suit your budget. Never before has there been such a wide selection of RCA Victor sets for you to choose from, including portables, table radios, and luxurious console radio phonographs. They're available now. Look at them. Listen to them. You'll find each combines quality with economy, performance with value. So make no mistake with your money. Insist on RCA Victor. Demand the best and you'll get the best. Plus all the assurance that comes with the name RCA Victor.
Here he is, Frank. I found him just like you asked.
Hello, Saunders. I was looking forward to this meeting, Haynes. However, I must admit it surprised me to have it develop in such an easy fashion.
I knew you'd find me sooner or later. Just thought I'd save you time.
Of course, you realize, Haynes, that your wife is eager to see you, too.
So I hear.
By the way, I saw your stand-in down at the morgue.
I know. You get around fast.
And sometimes I'm slowed down by unexpected obstacles. I ran into a rather troublesome one this afternoon in an importer's office in the Packer building.
I know.
You seem to know quite a bit about what went on.
I manage.
I'll wait downstairs, Frank.
Wait a minute, Al.
Yeah, Frank?
I promised to pay you off after you brought him here, didn't I?
Sure, Frank, but you're good for it. I'll wait till you're...
No, I want to pay you off in front of Saunders. I want to show him how I handle things.
Okay, Frank, just like you say.
Yeah, like I say. Take a look at him, Saunders. A good look. That's the way you're going to be, and after you, that wife of mine gets it.
You're busy with that gun, aren't you?
I don't leave loose ends around. It's bad in my business.
Andrews and Ginny Morris, they were part of your business, too, weren't they?
That's right. They misstep on you this afternoon. I don't miss.
That's rather evident.
This is what you were looking for. This is the real cat.
I've suddenly lost interest in that porcelain figure.
$100,000 worth, and it's all mine. 100,000 smackers. No more trouble about it. When you're gone, no more trouble. So long, sucker.
Oh! Thank heavens I got up those stairs in time. Sure was a lucky thing that you had me follow you.
You've no idea how I felt when I saw you standing there in the doorway with that gun in your hand.
Oh. Hey, Rex. Haynes isn't moving.
He's dead, Alec.
But I aimed for his leg.
That's where you got him.
But that shot couldn't have killed him.
It wasn't that shot, Alec. It was the one that entered here at his heart. This is the one that killed him.
Oh, you, Saunders.
May we come in, Mrs. Haynes?
Yes, of course. Mr. Saunders, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
It's true. Everything I told you over the phone about your husband is true.
Why did he do those things?
I brought the reason with me. This Ming cat. Mrs. Haynes, your husband had this figure stolen from you so that he could reap the profits for himself. And then he faked his own death to throw you off the track. That's about what it amounts to. Now, the Ming cat is yours, Mrs. Haynes.
Just as the omen says, it's only brought bad luck and death.
It's still worth a great deal of money.
What does money mean now?
I suppose you're right. It'd be far better to destroy it.
Yes, it probably would.
There's only one thing to do. Destroy it forever.
Mr. Saunders! You broke it.
Get away from those pieces, Mrs. Haynes. You're wasting your time.
Fool, you stupid, interfering fool.
Well, what's happened to her, Rex? You were told it was a fraud, and you said you were almost sure Mrs. Haynes knew it was a fraud.
And so she does, Alec. But the cat's great value is not in the porcelain.
It's not here. It's gone. It's gone.
What's this all about?
It's gone. Where is it? Where is it?
What is she raving about?
This package, Alec.
You had it. You wanted to steal it from me. You wanted it for yourself.
This small parcel contains $100,000 worth of narcotics.
What?
And by a prearranged plan, it was smuggled into this country inside the cat by Mrs. Haynes. Then greed prompted the double cross and the triple cross.
Triple cross?
Mrs. Haynes was in the house when you shot her husband. It was she, however, who fired the fatal bullet. I went through the theatrics of smashing the cat to completely prove that Mrs. Haynes was guilty. You see, Alec, I'd already had the package removed from the cat when I learnt that the porcelain figure was valued at $3.75. $3.75. Too little cash, Alec, for so much crime.
In a moment, Rex Harrison will return to tell you about next week's story. First, an invitation from RCA Victor. Next chance you get, drop into your dealers and look over the wide variety of RCA Victor home instruments designed to bring you the very finest in home entertainment. We know you'll find just the right instrument for family fun at a price that will fit your family budget. Fine instruments with world-famous RCA Victor quality built into every feature and detail. See them tomorrow at your RCA Victor dealer. And now, here is Rex Harrison, internationally famous star of stage and screen, to tell you about next week's adventure taken from the private files of Rex Saunders. Next week, it's concerning hunting.
Concerning hunting, ordinarily a game for sportsmen in which rules are respected. But thieves have no rules but to kill when they track down the human game.
You have been listening to another intriguing adventure transcribed from the private files of Rex Saunders, written by Ed Adamson. In the cast were Leon Janney as Alec and Elspeth Eric as Marion. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is Kenneth Banghart speaking for RCA Victor.